There's a very interesting hadith where Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "The day of judgment will not come until you fight a people whose faces are red, flat-nosed, small eyes, and their faces will look like shields. They will wear shoes made of hair." Now, after this hadith, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, passed away, and Islam had already spread across the Arabian Peninsula. Under the leadership of Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, and Ali, the Muslims built one of the largest empires in history. For the first time, Muslims became a superpower. But just 30 years later, the rightly guided caliphate ended. A new family took control, Banu Umayyah, who ruled for 90 years and expanded the empire even more. But there was one big problem. This empire was only for Arabs. Non-Arabs had no status. Arabs didn't mix with others, and it was nearly impossible for non-Arabs to marry Arabs or get government positions. Because of this injustice, a rebellion rose from within. The Abbasid family, descendants of the Prophet's uncle Abbas, took over. During the Abbasid era, Muslim power reached its peak. This period is known in the West as the Islamic Golden Age. Baghdad became the capital of the Abbasid Caliphate and the most powerful city in the world. They built the world's biggest library, the House of Wisdom, filled with books, stories, and poetry. Scholars, scientists, poets, and artists from all over came to Baghdad. A special department in the House of Wisdom was made for translating ancient works into Arabic. Slowly, Arabic became the most powerful language in the world, just like English is today. The Abbasids were the first to fund scientists for research. Great scientists like Al-Khwarizmi, the inventor of algebra, worked here. Algebra is still essential in science today. Arts also flourished. Books like 1001 Nights were written, with stories like Aladdin, Ali Baba, and Sinbad still adapted into Hollywood films. Muslims were the superpower of the world, and no one could challenge them. But history shows that once an empire reaches the top, the only way forward is decline. Unlike the Umayyads, the Abbasids included people from all backgrounds: Persians, Turks, Greeks. One Abbasid caliph even built a powerful Turkish army called the Seljuks. But eventually this army took full control and the caliph became just a figurehead. The empire started weakening, rebellions began, and the empire broke into small pieces. That's when Muslims lost Palestine for the first time. Earlier, under Umar ibn al-Khattab, Jerusalem had been peacefully conquered. For 450 years, no one dared take Palestine from Muslims. But after the Abbasids weakened, Christian Europe launched the Crusades to take it back. In 1099, Crusaders captured Jerusalem, killing thousands of Muslim men, women, and children. They burned homes and even threw children off buildings. Muslims who hid in homes or mosques were burned alive. It was horrific. A few Muslims escaped with a copy of the Qur'an written during Uthman's time, but there was no Muslim leader strong enough to take back Palestine. 40 years later, in Iraq, a boy named Yusuf was born in the house of a soldier named Najmuddin Ayyub. He would become Salahuddin Ayyubi, the one who would change everything. At age 25, Salahuddin went to Egypt and after many struggles became its ruler. Around the same time, in faraway Mongolia, another boy was born, Temujin, later known as Genghis Khan. Salahuddin would bring glory back to Muslims. Genghis Khan would become one of their worst enemies. After Muslims lost Jerusalem, scholars played a huge role in uniting Muslims again. They motivated the youth with one goal: take back Palestine. Salahuddin first made peace with some Christian groups for 10 years to avoid war. During this time, he focused on uniting Muslims. After many victories, Salahuddin became the strongest Muslim ruler of his time. Finally, in 1192, he fought the Crusaders and took back Jerusalem completely. That year was huge. On one side, Salahuddin won Palestine, and on the other, Muhammad Ghori conquered parts of India and started the Delhi Sultanate. Muslims were finally becoming stable again. But 600 years earlier, the Prophet, peace be upon him, had predicted a war against the people with red faces, flat noses, Genghis Khan's people. Temujin, Genghis Khan, had united Mongolia and quickly became powerful. His father was a tribal chief, but was poisoned by enemies. Temujin even became a slave in China, but returned and united his people, forming the Mongol Empire. The Mongols made him their Khan, meaning the greatest ruler. Today, millions around the world have the name Khan because of him. Back then, Mongolia was poor and weak, so China ignored it. But soon Genghis Khan conquered Beijing. People saw how brutal he was. He'd build pyramids from the heads of his enemies. His army was ruthless. If one soldier in a group of 10 ran from battle, the other 9 were executed. This made his army fiercely loyal. He also made strict laws. If you stole one horse, you'd have to return 10 or your whole family would be killed. Eventually, he came into contact with the Muslim Khwarizm Empire, modern-day Afghanistan, Uzbekistan, etc. He first sent a peace delegation, but the Muslim king arrested them and killed Genghis Khan's ambassador, a big violation in Islam and global law. Genghis Khan was furious. He sent an army of 100,000 soldiers and destroyed the Khwarizm Empire. In city after city, he massacred the population and built towers from their skulls. Before the attack, the population in those areas was around 2 million. Afterward, only 200,000 survived. He killed 1.8 million Muslims. In one instance, he gathered Muslims in a mosque and told them, "I am the punishment of your Lord." Later, his grandson Hulagu Khan marched toward Baghdad, the Abbasid capital. By then, Muslims were divided into many sects and were more interested in debating than defending themselves. In 1258, Hulagu captured Baghdad, killed the caliph, and ended the Abbasid Caliphate after 500 years. His army spilled so much blood that the Euphrates River turned red for days. They also burned the House of Wisdom and threw its books into the river, turning the water black for months. This was the worst time in Muslim history, not just politically, but spiritually. After the Abbasid fall, only the Mamluk Sultanate remained. If the Mongols had won against them too, Makkah and Medina could have fallen, and they might have destroyed the Kaaba. But Allah protected it. When Mongols advanced, the Mamluk Sultan of Egypt and his general Baybars decided to fight. Many warned it was impossible. Some even believed the Mongols were the prophesied Gog and Magog, but they gathered an army anyway. Meanwhile, Hulagu Khan's brother, the Mongol emperor, died. Hulagu returned to Mongolia, leaving a smaller army behind. At a place called Ain Jalut in Palestine, Muslims and Mongols finally clashed. According to Jewish belief, this was the same spot where Prophet David had defeated Goliath. And again, Muslims, though weak, defeated the mighty Mongol Empire for the first time and stopped their expansion forever. Even though Mongols still ruled large areas, this defeat changed history. Later, many Mongols began studying Islam, were deeply impressed, and accepted Islam. Over time, the children of Khan adopted Muslim names like Muhammad, Timur, Yunus, and Babur. The Mughal Empire in India came from Genghis Khan's descendants. Hazrat Umar and Genghis Khan both built huge empires, but there's one major difference. Genghis Khan is remembered as a tyrant. Hazrat Umar is remembered as a just and great leader by the entire world.